everybody, welcome to the Captain Logan Show. It is I, Captain Logan, and joining me as always is my chat moderator and producer and son, Jason. Hello, Jason.
Hello.
God, how long's it been?
It's been a while. It's been like over a month at this point, I think.
It's just crazy. Finally getting back to the
Hey guys,
Captain
remember
Logan
this
show.
show?
Yeah, no, I've missed it. It's been really weird. It's like a part of myself has been missing. Oh, you know what else is missing? We have a guest tonight.
Yeah, where is he?
And
where's this person?
We're gonna bring him in right now. Tonight is this guest's birthday.
Yeah.
And I promised him he could come on the show for a
Just
while.
tonight, none of the rest of the day.
It's this kid's birthday. Look, everybody, it's my son Mikey. How's it going, Mikey?
Good.
So Mikey is going to hang out with us for a little bit. Feel free to throw a few questions at Mikey. He's never been on the show. He's never seen this show. Mikey has no idea what we do on this show.
We answer questions.
Jason, what do we do on the show?
We answer questions, and I talk about things, and he talks about things.
We show up
more than me,
and
but...
we ramble and we waste people's time. Actually,
no. Well, I mean, yes, but in a good way.
Alex Barron, I'm still making my way through your 5-hour spoiler cast. 5 hours, folks. That was a time vortex. I need someone to explain to me how in the world we talked that long and how it was actually 5 hours. And you know what? We finished it, and I still thought of things I didn't say.
Yeah.
For instance, this isn't even really a spoiler. So if you've not seen Superman, I'm not going to spoil anything for saying this. Yes, Mikey saw it. Mikey, what did you think of Superman?
It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, who was your favorite character in Superman?
I don't know.
Was it Superman? Was it Mr. Terrific?
Was it Hot Girl?
Was it Hot Girl?
Maybe.
Anyway, so I thought of this after my second viewing, and I really meant to bring this up, and I totally forgot to, and that is... with the way Lex is characterized in that movie, it really should be LexCorp, right? Why is it Luthor Corp in that movie?
I agree.
Like, I appreciate the Smallville nod, but of all the Lex Luthors that are arrogant and conceited enough to make their first name their company name because they want to be separated apart from everyone else in history as the greatest, most important, most intelligent, most brilliant living person, it would be this version of Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. How is it not LexCorp? Anyway, so let's talk to Mikey for a second, and then, guys, this is going to be a real relaxed, loosey-goosey kind of Captain Logan show. It's besides Superman, it's kind of a slow news week. Hasn't been a lot of geeky stuff that we need to talk about this week, I don't think. If there are any developments that I'm not thinking about that somebody really wants us to talk about, of course, you can ask about them in the Q&A section, and as always, leave a super chat in any dollar amount to guarantee that we talk about your topic on anything under the sun within reason, and anything under my sun within reason, and we will okay, I'll never say that again.
Don't.
And we will do Q&A mostly in the second half, but you can leave your questions either in super chat or the regular chat and direct them at Jason, at Video Game Secrets, at Jason, or at anything under the sun.
No.
Jason will respond to any of those
won't.
things. And more, and we'll answer those in the second half of the show. Our lead-in topic tonight is going to be yet another CBR article, and we're going to see if we like this one or if we think it's preposterous. Very often, we're not real super impressed with these articles, but they tend to. They tend to give us a nice springboard to talk about various superhero topics.
And also...
they'll give us a list of things, and we'll see if we agree with that list or if we think it's bogus, and we'll kind of, as we go, tell you what we think maybe our list would be if the topic actually makes sense. Tonight, it's about superhero rogues galleries. The article is 10 superhero rogues galleries that desperately need a complete revamp. That's what we'll be doing a little bit later after we talk to Mikey for a bit and after we do the Patreon question.
And I will say, I sent you a few CBR articles that we might talk about.
Yeah.
And this was the one that I didn't look at all.
Cool. And I always go into these blind.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what's
going
to
to be on that. This is the one that I went in blind with.
No idea what's going to be on that list. Nicholas Bodo, we got a poster for Supergirl and an announcement for Absolute Evil. I have not heard about that yet. I'm assuming that has to do with the Absolute Universe with DC. Maybe that's going to be the first thing that actually blends some of those characters together. I wonder. But yes, I had not heard about that. And I did see the poster for Supergirl. I didn't think that was a big enough thing to do a whole lead-in topic on. But
No,
because
it's cool.
Because it's just her standing. Is it the thing I saw where like she's standing next to a wall and she's got and she's drinking out of a cup, and we've crossed out look up to look out.
Yeah,
that's what it is. That's fun.
Look
I just
out.
hope she's not like insanely obnoxious. Right, like I can totally see that being great, and my warming up to her very quickly, even with the like drunken late teen early 20s thing that we're doing with her clearly,
yeah.
But there's of course the risk at making her just insufferable, and I want my raged out, really upset that Krypton exploded Supergirl, and it makes sense to have a phase of that character that would be in this place, and maybe we're past that rage place, and that's where she is right now, where she's just a mess and partying all the time, and because Supergirl likes to party all the time, and she is kind of lost, and I'm hoping that works, and we sympathize with her even as she's being kind of irritating at the start, but. Anyway, that's all I had to say about that.
Yeah. Do you want a Patreon question?
No, let's start with Mikey first.
Oh, okay.
Because here's Mikey. So Mikey, it's your birthday today. Happy birthday. How old are you?
7.
Mikey is 7. And to speak into the mic, this is the mic. And Mikey, I got some fun stuff for his birthday. Can you mention just a couple of cool things that you got for your birthday?
Yeah. So, I got Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
And a remote control Optimus Prime.
How does your Optimus Prime work? So Mikey's been asking me for this for months, and he got this for his birthday. What does he do?
He transforms and talks.
Sorry, you can back up. You don't have to yell into the mic and get right up on it. Okay, you just got to be in that general direction.
And he moves forward, and he can and he can spin, stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's a transformer that transforms by itself. Like it's a big remote control Optimus. You press a button, he goes either in truck mode or Optimus mode, and you can make him go back and forth and turn, and he says lots of phrases.
And I got this Minecraft sticker book.
That's cool. So Mikey, who are some of your favorite Pokemon? Because I'm sure we have some Pokemon fans in the audience.
So my favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo, and second Mew. Third is Arceus.
I didn't know who that
is. Wow. Okay.
Let's see. Fourth is Mimikyu.
Cool. Oh yeah, I know you're a big Mimikyu kid.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he get a Mimikyu for his birthday?
Yeah, I got a Mimikyu stuffed animal.
Yeah.
And a really cool Megatron stuffed animal.
Oh, nice.
So Mikey, real quick, you've been getting into comics lately.
Yeah.
Mikey helped me organize and sort a lot of comics a couple weeks ago. He really had not done a lot with comics besides reading some things in digital, and he's sort of, it seems to me, fallen in love with single-issue comics and reading stuff physically, to the point where he's been going with me to the comic shop and spending a little bit of his own money on some of his own comics. Even though I have nearly 10,000 comics, he is really liking having some of his own. So he bought a couple Superman comics today, and you got some Transformers comics
Yep.
before. Can you tell people just a couple of things you've read in comics?
A couple of things I read in comics.
Just a couple of kinds of comics you've read.
I've read a really cool Superman comic and one of my Transformers comics.
But like anything besides that? Like you've read some Power Rangers?
Yeah.
You read some Sonic?
Yep.
Mikey has been jumping around with single issues. Like he's like I was as a kid. He doesn't even have to read a complete story arc. I gave him the first issue of Shattered Grid, and was like, "Okay, do you want the next one?" And he was like, "No, these covers you just bought at the shop the other day are cool. I want to read one of those." And not the shop. I ordered some stuff, and so he jumped right to an issue with Zed Ranger, and he's just been reading all over the place. And you've read some like late '80s Batman.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff.
Yeah. And I made three pictures on comics.
Oh, that's right.
I made the Spawn one and a Batman one and a Star Trek one.
I wish we'd thought to bring those down. I did post a couple of those on the community tab, so you can go back over the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks and find those. But yes, Mikey likes to draw, and he likes to do his own comics, and he likes to just draw pictures of things he likes. He has a whole notebook of Power Rangers.
And Pokemon and like 3 different Transformers and some Sonic.
And so I gave him some sketch covers and let him do his own comic sketch covers. And I posted that Spawn, and it got like, I don't know, 80 likes or something. Everybody seemed kind of impressed with it. And I love the way Mikey does his sketch covers because he goes all the way to the margins. He fills all the space. But Jason, let's try to remember to bring those down. We'll show them at the break.
Okay.
For anybody that hasn't seen those.
Should I bring them down real quick?
You can go get them if you want to while I'm doing the Patreon.
Alright, I'll be right back.
Okay. Should we go ahead and go to the Patreon question?
We can.
Slipmaker, when you said reading all over the place, I misread it as reading all of the boys. And I was like, maybe don't start him on those. No, I would not give Mikey the boys. I am a better parent than that. I've been unsure how kosher it is to be letting Freddy read Nightfall, and he's 10.
Oh, I was like, are you letting him read Nightfall?
No, Freddy.
Yeah.
Freddy's been reading through Nightfall.
He has?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's what I was like.
And he's loving it.
Great.
Yep. Well, he read the first issue. We were going through comics when we were sorting a few weeks ago, and he read the first issue after the back break. And he was really impressed with that. And so I was like, well, if you want to start at the beginning of Nightfall, we can do Nightfall. Okay.
Alright, and here is my comics. I got this one.
Okay, so let me see if I can show this without it getting washed out here. So here's Mikey's Spawn sketch cover. So you can buy blank. you can buy blank covers of books, and sometimes these are actually kind of pricey as variants, but very often you can get some of these for cheap when they don't sell great or when they're just books that people aren't as highly sought after. But anyway, so I occasionally will grab these to take to conventions to have artists do sketch covers for me, and I just had these laying around and I hadn't used them yet, and so on a whim I gave them to Mikey, and so he did the Spawn.
And I did this Star Trek one, which...
The Star Trek one.
I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but he did Picard drawing... It's going to look like a sheep, but it's not a sheep. It's Picard drawing the face in the cloud.
Oh my god, that's what that's supposed to be?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, that's what that is.
That's great.
And this was Mikey's idea. He
Wait, how did he know that?
That image. He probably saw it on that cat calendar that I had. Is my guess, because I have... I used to have a calendar that was drawings of cats in famous screenshots of Star Trek episodes.
Well, he has seen that episode, but I didn't think that he would think of that himself.
But yeah, that's the Timescape, season 6 or 7, TNG. I think 6.
And here is my Batman one where he's jumping into the Batmobile. He's just jumping into the Batmobile, ladies and gentlemen. And he's in this big city, Gotham City.
Good job, Mikey. Nicholas Bodo, does Freddy love Bane? I don't know what Freddy's opinion is on Bane.
What's your opinion on Bane, Mikey?
He's pretty cool.
Okay, let's go ahead and get into the Patreon question and then the lead-in topic.
All right.
So, Mikey, why don't you take a seat, man?
Hi.
And away we go.
Okay, this Patreon question is from Michael Martin. What are the potential ramifications for the success or failures of Superman and Fantastic Four?
So first of all, thanks a lot to him for leaving in a question. And if you would like to leave a Patreon question, patreon.com/KeithEvolution, just the $2 tier. We always do this each month for the Captain Logan show in case you can't make it or you have a question you want to make sure that gets answered and you don't want to leave a super chat. And I'm doing this more and more for different shows. So I'm starting to do Patreon reviews for things even outside of the Superhero Run Commentary Project. So we're finding lots more ways to interact with that audience and get everybody's voices heard that would like their voices heard. Anyway, so Jason, what is... I want to hear from you on this first, actually.
Sure.
What is your prediction and your guess at what happens if Superman doesn't pass the first, because it has broken records for the year, but the question is will it continue to have forward momentum, or will it drop real hard second week, that kind of thing. So if Superman doesn't massively perform, what does that mean? If Fantastic Four doesn't meet projections, or even if it bombs, what does that mean? This is a great question, because we've all been looking at both of these movies as kind of important for the genre and for the respective companies. With Superman, it's maybe kind of more obvious that that's the first movie in the new stable with the reboot. It needs to do decent.
Yeah, it does. I think for Fantastic Four it doesn't matter. Because they're gonna do Doomsday and Secret Wars anyway. And so, I don't even know if they know what their plan is after that. So,
Oh, interesting.
I think... I don't think Fantastic Four matters as much. I think I would like it to do well. And I would like it to do better than Thunderbolts. But I don't think it matters personally. Superman, I have no idea what would happen if it, because I actually don't know how well it did opening weekend.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's clearly not going to tank. It's probably made its money back.
Sure. So, I think that's, how it did is fine. I wish, I hope it does better, a bit better.
Well, and we talked about this on our 5-hour spoiler cast, but I'm really glad that the Warner's executives and Gunn have the attitude about it that they do, where it doesn't need to make $1 billion. They're not going to panic and freak out and go back to the drawing board like the last regime did whenever the early DCEU movies didn't do as expected. They're not going to freak out.
Yeah.
They just need it to make its money back and then some, and there needs to seem to be enough interest that they can keep building momentum. So they are seeing that as a foundational piece as opposed to be all end all, and that's really nice. It's really nice to see that. Marvel just needs some hits, man. That movie does need to perform, I think. And I think it matters more than you do, but more for Marvel to gauge how much damage they've done to their own brand, really. If they can't make... and Fantastic Four, I've said this before, is kind of a hard sell because it has not had a positive history. Just in general, people don't seem to think that that's a property that can work on the big screen. Because they haven't seen it in their minds really work yet, right? Despite the fact that the Tim Story movie did well enough to warrant a sequel, the reputation of those movies is this is a property that is too goofy and that nobody cares about, to work. But if MCU can't get people to go to a Fantastic Four movie, I think they're in as much or more trouble than we think they're in.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's over something like Thunderbolts, which is a good movie, and the best movie they've made in a while, still didn't really perform. Why is that? Is it because it looked too much like other anti-hero movies? That could be some of it. Is it because they sold it real hard on what maybe looked like typical MCU humor? That could be part of it. Is it because it's not a property that people are real familiar with? That could be part of it, but they've sold movies like that before that were giant gangbusters, obviously, like Guardians. And could it be a combination of especially that last thing and they don't have consumer confidence anymore? I think it's more that than anything, but I think it's a combination of people aren't trusting you to deliver the goods like you used to. Like your quality seems to be waning. People aren't trusting that you're putting story first. You know, and that it won't just be the same formula we've seen 100 times. And then a thing that we haven't heard of before. So if Guardians of the the point I'm making is if Guardians of the Galaxy comes out in Wave 4 or 5, it does not do as well as it did when it came out in Phase 2 or 3.
I agree, even if it's the same movie.
Even if it's the exact same movie.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So Fantastic Four has to be great, and if it is, its opening weekend may not be indicative overall of its quality or what will turn into the interest of it. It could have good word of mouth and people go, no, really, Marvel is back. And that could have happened, and I was hoping it would with Thunderbolts. It didn't. But with this, it's at least also a thing with name recognition, even if people don't really believe in Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
But I think it really needs to perform, and I'm worried that it won't. But the question is, if people don't care about this, let's say it flat out bombs. Now Doomsday is a Hail Mary play.
Yeah.
Now you're banking so hard on the Russos and on really nothing beyond Avengers brand name and making a big deal out of event film, and there's a ton of characters. But, like, how many of those characters do people even really care about right now?
Right.
You know, so it's... And Robert Downey. So, like, now it's real gimmicky. Like, what they've been selling Fantastic Four on is fresh, new thing we've never done before, which is smart. They're like, we got a period piece. We're not scared of the wacky powers with Fantastic Four and making it look like pretty wholesome and fun and going into the science fantasy stuff. There are things that are, of course, putting people off. There's things I have reservations about. But with the exception of the Silver Surfer thing, I think they've mostly sold that movie right. And I mean, people are worried about CG and stuff.
Yeah.
As am I. That's a problem.
Yeah.
But like CG, Shadow Ball, Silver Surfer, the stuff that people really aren't sure about, how much is that going to hurt ticket sales? Versus just, I don't know, it's Marvel. And, like, we've been here and done this so much. The last huge Marvel win was Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
And that did not do the money it did because it was MCU. In fact, it did that despite MCU.
Yep.
And so when people said, oh, MCU's back, baby, I'm like, I mean, the movie was good. Yep. I enjoyed it immensely. But that's a movie, and I've said all this before, but that's a movie that was a love letter to the old Fox superhero movies, and a love letter to X-Men, and people love Hugh Jackman, and people missed Deadpool, and it had been a long time since we finally got that sequel, and it constantly made fun of the situation with the MCU the whole way through it.
Yeah.
And there's no reason to think that they've learned any of the right lessons from them.
Yeah.
So when I say Fantastic Four is important, I think that really... Because, again, I think they've more or less sold that okay. So that just gauges interest in MCU. And that's not... It's really not just a straight-up superhero fatigue problem. It's a Marvel fatigue problem. Mm-hmm. Because Superman is performing. Yeah. And would Superman be doing better if people weren't tired, the people who are... Because there definitely are people tired of superhero movies. I'm just saying that the superhero fatigue thing is not so bad that if you make a great superhero movie, people won't possibly see it. Especially if it's got that kind of brand recognition behind it like Superman does. Right?
Yeah.
So if that came out, I'm sorry, I've lost my train of thought.
Sure.
I'm sorry, I forget where I was going with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I do think Fantastic Four matters. If nobody sees that, Doomsday is a hard sell because that's a straight up sequel to Fantastic Four. You know, and then like it'll do better than this, I'm sure. But like can it save them? I guess I'm just saying. I think if Fantastic Four were to tank.
Yeah.
And my prediction is it won't tank, but it won't do what they want it to.
I agree.
If it tanks, they're going to think harder about full-on reboot.
Yes, they will.
And we've been talking about probably a soft reboot with Secret Wars. I mean, they're going to look at maybe scrapping everything and putting it all on the back burner for 4 or 5 years maybe, and then do what? Or maybe rush it out, I don't know. But try to copy DC's newfound success with starting over. Because this is the thing nobody's talking about. We all just assume that the MCU, whether they soft reboot or not, will still stay tied to some degree with the success they've had over all these years. But DC is completely full-on rebooting, and it has a chance of working out actually really well for them. And especially if Marvel can't find enough success after they soft reboot, then they might actually flat out reboot.
Yeah.
With no connection to the old MCU and with brand new actors playing all of the old major characters. I could really see that happening. But I think a Fantastic Four movie from Marvel that comes out during Phase 3 potentially does huge guns.
Yeah. I agree.
And it feels like the time has passed, which is so sad because that's all I wanted back then was for them to get the rights back from Marvel.
Yeah.
I wanted this movie back then. Galactus looks great. A lot of the casting I'm happy with. I think there's a chance that I will still end up loving this movie. Yeah. But God, I wish it had come out 10 years ago. Yeah. Thanks for the super chat. We will answer that in the second half when we get to Q&A. What other thoughts do you have? I was very rambling.
I didn't know if we wanted to do that in the second half or do it when Mikey's here, because that's a good question for Mikey.
Oh, that's true. We can do that.
But yeah, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. The thing is, even if it is good, I actually kind of want them to just straight up reboot. So that's why I don't actually, I don't see that as a bad thing. Now, I mean, it could be if they go a little too far, just depending on how they do it, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts. And I think Superman will still be better.
Yeah, there's no way at all. I don't mind. I would put my reputation on the line with this. I would bet $1,000 on this. There is no chance, none, that Fantastic Four outperforms Superman.
Yeah, but also I'm kind of worried because they were kind of
That's
betting.
Easy.
They were kind of betting that all 3 of the movies released this year would do well. And
all 3 of the movies. What does that mean?
Of the MCU movies.
The MCU movies, yeah.
Would do well, and because they're all major parts of Doomsday.
Excellent point.
Another thing I'm worried about is just Doomsday.
Yeah.
Because Doomsday
I don't trust that.
I mean, Doomsday is Civil War times 4.
Mm-hmm.
Plus Doctor Doom for no reason.
You know what the difference is?
Huh.
Most of us were invested in and liked nearly, if not every character in that movie.
Also, Civil War was 12 characters fighting each other.
Yeah.
For this, it's the Thunderbolts, the New Avengers, the other Avengers, the Fantastic Four, the Thunderbolt.
I guess I'm not
X-Men.
sure why you're just going to Civil War, because obviously we've after that have had Avengers movies with actual Avengers movies with more characters.
Right, but it seems like they're gonna do Thunderbolts and the new Avengers and the other Avengers having a civil war. On top of they're gonna do Infinity War with Doctor Doom. On top of they're gonna do a new X-Men movie for no reason. On top of new Fantastic Four movie. It's like, okay.
Yeah, this is another place like with Infinity War. I guess at least it doesn't have the word war in the title. But then Secret Wars will, so whatever. But you have Infinity War and Endgame, which... sorry, what the heck was I gonna say? Where was I going? Well, I just remember the thing I was going to say earlier, and that has distracted me, which is if Superman had come out back when MCU was in its heyday, it would be doing even better than it is now.
Yes.
I was gonna say that earlier.
Sure.
But anyway, the Infinity War to Endgame was supposed to be a 2-part movie, and it still sort of is. But now we're gonna have that again, except it feels like Doomsday should be 4 hours. So, like, I don't know how that's not a ridiculously long movie, and that's also gonna hurt it at the box office.
Yeah.
When they don't have consumer confidence, because they need to be careful and not treat it like even though Feige has gone on the record more recently admitting that they've made some mistakes and they need to course correct and stuff, it still feels like the way they market this stuff, they're real into themselves and real out of touch and are not appreciating how people don't believe in them anymore. And there's a certain amount of confidence that you need to exude. Yeah. Like, I get that. I don't think their marketing should be self-deprecating. I don't think they should come out and be like, our movies suck, but this one's great. Like, you should go to that. I don't think they should be doing that.
Not all their movies should be like that.
But, they're exuding arrogance before confidence, and stupidly so, when they do an all-day stream of chairs with actors' names to sell Doomsday. That's a mistake.
Yes.
Like, why are you doing that? And so my worry is, this is my point, is that Doomsday is going to be pretending like it's still 2019. When they make that movie, when they advertise that movie, when they give us the runtime, that movie's going to be 3 hours long. And I don't know how it's not that long.
I think it's going to be 2.5. Somehow.
It's going to be 2.5 or 2:45, but it could be 3 hours.
It could be.
But I think even 2:45 is too long right now for them, because I don't know why they would expect people to trust them.
Yeah.
And they're gonna make a big deal out of the Russos coming back, and they're gonna pretend like the hype is already there the way it was for Infinity War. And I think they need to treat it more like, and it's hard to do this when they're putting out so many movies, and we've already had MCU movies this year, when we got Fantastic Four coming out now, and so obviously this is not the direction they're going. But were I them, I would be treating it more like First Class, where I would be a little bit more in the background and just kind of sleeper drop a trailer and not be like chewing people's face about it, and have a more quiet confidence.
Yeah.
In saying, we've got a movie, you should see it. The end.
That is a really good idea.
They won't do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard to do that. But on the other hand, they've at least got some time because they keep pushing it back. So, like, they could coast a little on the wave of people had forgotten about them for a little while. And then go boom.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Austin, I think it'll be 3 hours and Secret Wars will be longer. That's my worry. Channel, can they still do the second round of actor chairs and not get laughed at? No! What they can do is not more actor chairs. I would not do that. In fact, I would let some of those actors not be known when you go to the theater.
Yeah. Well, and also...
Let us be surprised by something.
And also,
when you're doing all this crossover material.
I think it's too big of a movie with the actors that are there. That they put in the chairs. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is, like, I think that's too much going on, even just with those actors. So, like, if you have to have even more...
At the very least, if you do the stupid chairs again, don't slow it down. Just put it out as a quick 2-minute thing and show them all to us. Okay, we're talking too long about this like it's the lead-in topic. Let's go ahead and... I don't know, there's a lot there. Let's go ahead and do this super chat real quick. Because that's a good point. Let's do that while Mikey's here.
This is a $2 super chat from I am to fly cam. That is an amazing username.
Where did my mallet go? Did you take my mallet?
No. What's a mallet?
Who's got my mallet? I'm just gonna have to flick it now. I had it.
Yeah, you just had it.
I don't see it. Oh, here it is. I put his comics on top of it.
What's a mallet?
This is a mallet. This is what we whack the gong with.
Oh.
So when super chats happen, we read them, and then they get a gong. And I'll let you gong it after he reads it. Okay, go ahead and read the super chat.
All right.
Oh,
This is from, I'm gonna say this username again because it's awesome. This is from I am to flycam. What's your favorite DC hero and favorite DC villain for all of you?
Okay, go ahead and gong it. Oh, do it again. There you go. Good job. That was a good gong. Okay, Mikey, real quick. Try not to spend too long on it. Don't be thrown off by favorite. You can just throw out one you really like if you don't have a full-on favorite, okay?
It's like the first thing that comes to mind.
Kids get worked up about favorites.
Yeah.
That is a paramount important question before the age of 10. What is your favorite?
So all you do is you just go, what's the first thing that you think of? And then they do that, and well, it's the first thing that you thought of, so that's your favorite.
It's probably their favorite.
At least right now, that day.
Yeah. And also, being a kid, these things are very arbitrary, and your favorite changes all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Mikey, what is a DC hero and a DC villain that you like?
DC, let's see. I like Superman.
Mikey likes Superman. And not just because that movie just came out. He's been on a Superman kick.
Yeah.
And what's a villain you like, Mikey?
So a villain I like would be, let's just say Doc Ock.
Oh, that's not DC. That's Marvel.
Oh.
That's Spider-Man villain.
What did he say? Oh, Doc Ock? Yes, that's it. Come on, Mikey. That's Spider-Man.
Okay.
I thought I did a better job raising my children.
So let's just say my favorite is Two-Face.
Oh, you like Two-Face?
Yes.
That's cool.
What kind of villain is that?
That is a Batman villain.
Good job.
Jason, real quick, because he said for everyone, yeah.
Yeah, my favorite hero is Cassandra Cain.
Yep.
Favorite villain is... Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna say the Riddler.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Riddler fan,
I also
too.
like Parasite.
Well, I love lots of stuff, but gun to my head, it's Batman and it's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And I like Lex Luthor as a Batman villain sometimes, too,
Wow.
by the way.
Do you like Cyborg Superman as a Green Lantern villain?
Yes, and I like Cyborg Superman as a Green Lantern villain. Okay, let's go ahead and do the lead-in topic 40 minutes into the show. I'm going to stop saying lead-in. I'm going to start saying main topic. Well, we shouldn't even call this a lead-in anymore, because now we do a lead-in to the lead-in, which is the Patreon question.
Right.
So I don't know why we even do that.
Right. And this time we did like 3 lead-ins.
We have no idea what we're doing here on the show. 10 superhero... So, Mikey, do you want to stick around through this up until the break, or do you want to get going?
I want to do it up to the break.
Do you want to see what we're doing here?
Yeah.
All right. Comic book resources, don't let us down. Make this a fascinating article where you've maybe done some research and maybe somebody wrote this that like knows the subject and has a passion and an interest in speaking from the heart here.
Actually make it like true to the title.
Yes.
Because last time I don't actually remember what it was, but I remember
what was it?
It was like they didn't remember how the word overrated worked.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Okay, 10 superhero rogues galleries that desperately need a complete revamp. I'll read the opening here so that we can see what they're thinking. What this means. Superheroes are defined in large part by their villains. True. These super adversaries represent the contrasting viewpoints to the hero's mission, which can create deeper thematic tension than simple brawls with bank robbers. Sure. But like the heroes they oppose, supervillains go through periods of waning popularity and sometimes wind up falling out of favor with audiences. Okay, I mean, I guess that's true.
Maybe.
But I think here's what I think happens in comics. I think you have villains that are thought of as staples of a superhero's rogues gallery, but people can't necessarily think of great stories with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
So they're waiting around for that great story for that character, and so when they fall out of popularity, I think more often it's just we're not thinking about them because nobody's told a great story about them. And then when you finally get that great story, then they get marched up to the top, and then we can't stop doing stories with them. Yeah. So the Riddler, for instance, has always been a main big A-list Batman character, even when for the longest time there weren't really great Riddler stories, at least in comics. And then because I think 60s Batman has a lot to do with the popularity of that character. And then you get to Snyder, and you get to Zero Year, and we just can't stop doing Riddler stories after that.
Yeah.
I also think Arkham had a lot to do with making the Riddler kind of a little bit more popular again. But I don't know, this idea of like
Riddler trophies,
waning popularity. I think it's more like B and C list characters that were always kind of there, but nobody really cared about, and then that great story is told about them, and then now they're A-list. Yeah. I don't know that they're... The point I'm making is I don't know that there are a lot of A-list characters that fall out of popularity. I think we just don't do anything with them for a while.
Well,
Am I wrong?
They fall out of popularity for a reason. They fall out of popularity because nothing's being done with them. It's more just waning storytelling.
But what I mean is, like, Scarecrow has always remained popular, even if we're not really doing anything with him right now.
That's true.
A hero doesn't always need a completely new rogues gallery. Am I nitpicking here? Yes. Is it fair? No. Moving along, a hero doesn't always need a completely new rogues gallery or to borrow a foe from someone else. Well, we do that a lot. Sometimes all they need is a new focus. Fictional heroes like Captain America and fictional heroes. Yeah, these are all fictional. That's what we're talking about.
No.
I read that and I think an AI wrote it. Fictional heroes like Captain America and Wonder Woman thrive on occasional revamps and relaunches, and sometimes those reboots can also bring their villains back into the public consciousness. I mean, that's true. Okay, number 10. Iron Man villains often feel dated. Iron Man's rogues gallery has villains with real potential. Now, I don't have a big dog in this because I haven't read a lot of singular Iron Mans. I know Austin will have thoughts about this, and if he's watching right now, we'll see what he has to say.
So, Austin, what do you think?
Tony Stark, the invincible Iron Man, thank you, is one of the foundational heroes of the Marvel Universe. Yada, yada, yada. I'm not going to read all of this. Iron Man's early foes reflected Cold War tensions. Yeah, but you could say everything in 60s Marvel was dealing with Cold War issues and the fear of the atomic bomb and everybody had their powers from radiation, and like a lot of the social commentary was always about that.
Austin just says boo.
Rather than lacking iconic villains, Iron Man's presence in the MCU has warped the perception that he only fights other armored adventurers or immoral billionaires. They're right about that. That is true. Both framed as demons of his own making. Even the one villain who embodied both Ironmonger lacked the patient malice that made Obadiah Stane such a threat in the comics. That's true, too. Villains like Melter, Ghost, Controller, Blizzard, and Madame Mask could all play major roles in the Marvel Universe if used properly. And, of course, the Iron Man villain most overdue for justice is the Mandarin, who never truly faced his eternal foe within the MCU. So I'm going to complain... I have a complaint already about this article, which is the first paragraph has nothing to do with, or the second paragraph has very little to do with the first paragraph. So the complaint is Iron Man's villains are dated. It's all about Cold War tensions. What do you even do with them? The second paragraph is, Iron Man's villains have not been utilized well enough in the MCU. There's so much potential. Why don't we use them? Well, you just said they're dated and there's nothing to do with them. That's what you just said.
It's like,
right?
Multiple people wrote it or something.
Yeah, like bringing up the Cold War thing is suggesting that it's, like, there's no connective tissue. If your point is, it's difficult to figure out how to modernize these characters and that's why MCU isn't using them, okay, but that's not what they said.
Yeah.
So that, or whoever wrote this, so that's odd. So yeah, this is another one of those articles that already feels like we're just grasping for something to write about, to like come up with a topic. It's like, we'll just write the topic and then we'll find the cohesion after that, right? Mm-hmm. Like the initial idea is rogues galleries that desperately need a complete revamp. Complete revamp. Meaning, like, this whole thing feels like it's written by an AI. Meaning, you wipe all of Iron Man's rogues off the map and you give them brand new ones. That's what I would think that this is saying.
Yeah,
like, you think it'd be about heroes that don't have great rogues galleries to begin with. They keep having to go to other people's rogues. Why can't they have their own cool bad guys, you know? Like, you know, maybe Blue Beetle doesn't have enough of his own villains, or maybe Ant-Man needs a good enough rogues gallery on his own that the first villain he fights in his own movie isn't an evil version of one of his costumes in the comics. But that's not what this is. Like, Iron Man does have a rogues gallery. Now, I'm not a big enough Iron Man guy to know if he has a great rogues gallery. From what little I know about them, I always felt like they seemed like kind of BC tier Spider-Man villains or something. But I've not read enough, so I don't know. Like, the argument could be made, but that's not the argument they're making.
Yeah. And Austin says, I'm sorry, but adaptation shouldn't factor this much.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, this is such a confused mess of an idea. Where it's like, what are we even talking about here?
Yeah.
Like, it could have been top 10 rogues galleries that haven't seen enough love in the movies.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Iron Man would be higher on that list, but, like,
yeah.
but yes, like, that could be a thing. Or you could say, like, or you could go the other way and go, rogues galleries in comics that haven't, even to this day, even after decades, haven't been fleshed out enough. Mm-hmm. Here are characters that could have a cool rogues gallery that just don't, or they have those two villains we always go back to.
Yeah,
and that's all we do. You know, Wonder Woman's best villains are ignored. Okay, but what does that do with revamping the?
Yeah.
Why can't you stick to your premise? But I mean, your premise is kind of convoluted, so you need a different premise.
Yeah.
So yeah, why isn't this just shafted rogues galleries in movies?
This really should just be, this is superhero rogues galleries that just, I don't know, need to be used more.
Yeah,
that's literally all this is, but not a complete revamp.
Wonder Woman, and then this is back to comics. Wonder Woman comics tend to ignore the villains that really challenge the Amazonian princess.
Okay, but those villains are still part of her rogues gallery. So you're not saying that the rogues gallery is bad. You're saying that they just don't use the
Wonder Woman's rogues gallery is filled with underrated villains, but DC generally spotlights Cheetah, Ares, and occasionally Cersei, while overlooking others who could challenge Diana on a deeper level. Now that is maybe a fair point to be made.
Yeah.
But does the rogues? So when they say revamp, do they just mean? Because that's just not the
rogues gallery in a different way.
Word. It seems like what they're really meaning is like reassess it, or like writers need to do their research and go back to the well and find the cool ones we never do anything with. Mm-hmm. This was more of a problem with Batman for a long time, where we would tend to go to the same like 5, 6, 8 for big stories, and these days we go to everybody like quite a bit.
Yeah.
There's still your main, like your Joker, your Two-Face that we go to constantly, of course, obviously, but you're not gonna have to wait too long before you get a Mad Hatter story, before you get a Clayface story, especially Clayface.
Okay.
Clayface is almost at a Joker level right now, where we just can't stay away from him. But anyway, three of Wonder Woman's villains, Doctors, Cyber, Psycho, and Poison. Okay, I am gonna give them props for putting Doctors in front of those. I do like that. Yeah. Doctors, Cyber, Psycho, and Poison. Well done there. All hold doctorates of some kind. Veronica Cale, that's funny. Okay, I like that. Veronica Cale is a ruthless capitalist with access to limitless technology and resources. I'm not going to read all of this. These villains are rich with thematic potential. I've not read enough Wonder Woman to know if I buy the premise at face value. Mm. So somebody tell me in the comments if you agree that these are villains that don't get used often enough. I'll try to blow through the rest of this. What are we at? Almost an hour? Yeah, we got 8 minutes. We can get through this here.
Playtime.
Thor's Rogues Gallery needs more variety. Thor may be the god of thunder, but he could use more human enemies.
What?
In recent years, Thor's stories have shifted away from Earth and more toward the grander Marvel cosmos. That's what I want from Thor.
It makes no sense.
Like generally speaking.
Yeah.
And I would argue that when Thor fights human villains, you almost want them to be somebody else's villain. I don't know that I need Thor's Rogues Gallery to have a bunch of humans in it.
I agree.
Right? Like Asgardian bad guys, you know, Loki, etc., villains from other planes of the others of the realms. When he's fighting a human, you want it to be like Doctor Doom or something. Because keep in mind how powerful Thor is, and that you're talking about a thing that starts in mythology in the first place. Mm-hmm. So why does he need human? Well, let's read on and see if we can be won over on this argument. See if we can be convinced. Outlook not so good. While many of his threats come from fellow Asgardians, like Enchantress and the Executioner, there's also great potential in exploring the human conflicts Thor creates. A few notable human foes, such as Grey Gargoyle and the Wrecking Crew, exist, but as Al Ewing's Immortal Thor series shows, people within the Marvel Universe believe in Thor and pray to him for deliverance, opening the door for adversaries who reject both his message and the God of Thunder himself. Does anybody else feel like a fried egg?
Yeah.
Does anybody else feel like there's sort of some busy work happening here where we're just, again, working backwards from a conclusion? We've decided Thor should be on this list. Why? Let's kind of mess around for 2 paragraphs and then move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey.
Yeah.
Does anybody else feel like we've either outsourced this to an AI, or we've decided to, and I know that's the easy thing to lob at anything these days that's written online that you think is stupid or you don't agree with. Yeah. But some of this just doesn't follow to me. So it's either that or you're like BSing a research paper.
I think it's more the second thing.
Doctor Strange's Rogues Gallery is practically non-existent. Austin is throwing things now. He's throwing them. He has a surprising lack of foes.
Austin says, wait, Thor is here for the current run and nothing else?
Yeah, I guess. Jason, name a couple of members of Doctor Strange's Rogues Gallery.
We got Dormammu.
Yeah.
You've got, what's the,
got Baron Modo.
You have, what's the starfish? Not the starfish, but...
The starfish?
Shuma-Gorath?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Is that a Doctor Strange villain?
I don't know if it starts as a Doctor Strange villain, but it's certainly in that whole realm.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's stuff that crosses, obviously, anytime you're dealing with the occult, where you're like, Doctor Strange is gonna deal with Mephisto, and anyway, let's see what the argument is.
Austin is posting swearing emojis.
We're trying to give it the benefit of the doubt here, folks. Don't you guys love it when I bring these up?
No.
By the time Multiverse of Madness was released in 2023, well past so now we're back to MCU.
Yay.
You need to decide if you're talking about comics or movies.
Yeah.
I'm with Austin. I just don't even think movies should really factor into this. Again, unless the point is we've got characters with, like, if you, and I'll be surprised if this isn't real high on the list because of this, but if you want to say, look, Superman has a great rogues gallery, why is it always Lex Luthor in the movies? Fine, but your whole article needs to be about that.
Yes.
Unless it's about what the mainstream knows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you could maybe sort of look at both comics and movies and say, like, both sides aren't doing well enough to make the general public informed of some of these great characters. I guess you could kind of have that angle. I don't know.
I think you could write a really good... I think you can write a really good top 10 villains that have been used too much in adaptations.
Oh, sure.
Or top 10 villains that need to be actually used in adaptations.
Yeah.
But you need to decide, like you're saying.
Well, Joker, Zod,
Joker,
Lex
Zod,
Luthor, Two-Face.
I'm so done with Two-Face.
Yeah, and we're just talking DC. I mean,
Right.
what would the ones be for Marvel?
For Marvel, well, the problem is there's like the problem is there's like the MCU, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, because we haven't really done a lot of villains at Marvel more than once.
Right,
have
because
we?
the Spider-Man movies have a different one every time.
Okay, but you can complain like X-Men won't stop using Magneto.
Yeah.
I mean, there's things like that.
Oh yeah. At this point, you could probably say Doctor Doom.
Let's see, what's next?
Well, I'm going to see what else this is saying about movies. Perhaps the lack of truly iconic strange villains highlights a deeper issue. He simply needs more recognizable and recurring threats. I mean...
Okay, well, now you're looking at the actual title of the thing. What? You haven't said anything like that this entire article. You haven't said, oh, we need to
Maybe instead of 10, it should have been 7. Doctor Strange needs more formidable villains to help him endure. And I'm not a giant Doctor Strange guy, but... Like, I know he's got more than the ones they used in the movies, and the ones they've used in the movies so far are memorable and interesting enough. Like Doctor Strange has not so far had a lame villain I mean, people didn't really care about Cacephalus, or whatever his name is. Caecilius? The guy with the eyes in the first movie.
I haven't seen that movie.
You don't even remember? But like, Mordo's interesting, and Dormammu's like... People complain about that and put that as one of, like, an example of one of those lame Marvel villains where, look, Marvel doesn't have great villains. That movie has 3 villains! Mm-hmm. And at least 2 of the 3 are memorable and interesting.
Also,
like, Mordo's not a villain throughout it, but he's going to be later.
Mm-hmm. Also, you've just mentioned 2.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they talk about is 2.
Senior 6 put in a $2 super chat and says Geevolution could use a better rogues gallery. Yeah, we do go to the well a lot. We go to Doomsvents a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking of, and I forgot to mention this at the start of the show, but our final segment for tonight, so stick around through the second half, will be done right around 9 Central tonight. But the last segment of the night, we're going to show a new clip of the movie, of Superhero Rewind, the movie, which comes out at the end of next month. It's going to be... I gotta look at the calendar. It's the last... I think we landed on the last Friday of that month, so it's like the 28th or the 29th. But the end of next month, the local premiere here is on the 23rd. We're gonna do a special viewing for the Super Chat supporters, and then we're gonna finally unveil it to the audience. So anyway, that's in just a few weeks. So we wanted to show you guys another clip and talk maybe just a little bit, if we've got time, about the making of that movie.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, but just talking about the experience that Jason and I had making that. So Teddy, thank you very much. We'll hit your super chat in the second half. Let's go ahead and finish this article up. Green Lantern's Rogues Gallery needs to go back to the Silver Age.
Yay.
Stop it.
What?
I mean, Green Lantern has a good rogues gallery.
What are you talking about?
And
also,
that's a lot of this.
And also, his 2004 or like his 2000 stuff is the best stuff. In my opinion, that's his best.
Well,
villains.
I think Jeff Johns just completely reinvigorated the whole thing with the Spectrum.
Yeah, that's my favorite Green Lantern stuff. I don't actually like the more like Earth stuff.
Yeah, the emotional spectrum is a masterpiece piece of world building, but has also led to a problem. Oh, we are talking about that. DC has become fixated on introducing new Lantern colors and uncovering more hidden powers suppressed by the Guardians. That's maybe fair. I mean, I'm not a giant Green Lantern guy, but you know, like, call me easily brought in by gimmick and spectacle, but that's been the stuff I've liked with Green Lantern. These stories have only further cemented the Guardians, who have been depicted as fallible at best, as emotionless, short-sighted dictators imposing their will over all creation. That is true. There have been efforts in recent years, such as Grant Morrison's 2-season The Green Lantern, to shift focus back to Silver Age villains, but DC has yet to fully capitalize on that momentum. Okay, but, like, somebody's doing what you're talking about. So, I don't know. You know what? That one is maybe a fair point, except then they're citing a recent thing that is fixing the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's weird.
That is weird.
Just for my own personal sensibilities. Okay.
That doesn't...
Miles Morales needs a rogues gallery on par with Peter Parker's. Yeah, if you're obsessed with Miles Morales and you need him to be as important of a Spider-Man as Peter Parker, okay. I'll never understand that. Although, I'll play devil's advocate with this and say, let Miles Morales be his own character, give him a different name that's not just Spider-Man, and then sure, give him his own rogues gallery. Yeah. Because what I don't like is the constant attempt at either putting Miles Morales on equal footing with Peter Parker, or because I mean, like what you like. If Miles Morales is a character you're more interested in than Peter Parker, that's totally cool. I like sometimes some of the Bat family as much or more as I do Batman. You know what I mean? But I don't need Cassandra Cain Batgirl, for instance, to supplant Batman. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she could go off and have her own rogues gallery. like that. Like, that's cool. And also, Miles Morales used to be the Spider-Man of another universe, and then he would be dealing with Peter Parker's rogues, and so then you wouldn't really need him to have his own rogues gallery. The problem is we combined the universes, and now we're stuck with both a Miles and a Peter at the same time. The point of Miles in the first place was to supplant Peter Parker because he died in a different universe, and now you have a completely different character than Spider-Man. That was the whole point of him. Yeah. And if that was allowed to continue, like, I always thought the Ultimate Universe needed to die, but so I don't really know, because it just got, you know, kind of too convoluted. So, well, you know what? I say that once we got, I'm actually going to contradict myself, because once we got, I'm just thinking back to when this happened. Once we got Miles and we relaunched some of those books, and we were kind of starting some things over, even though it wasn't a full-on reboot, that stuff was working. You didn't have to necessarily get rid of the Ultimate Universe. What you needed to do was not constantly cross it over with 616. You needed to let it just keep being its own thing.
Yeah. And
then you'd be fine. So, I guess I sort of agree with this if Miles has to be in 616. But they should have just left him in his own universe and let him have new villains and Peter's old villains, and then we wouldn't even be having a conversation here. Mm-hmm. But that character, to me, was cool when he had to try to live up to Peter Parker. Mm-hmm. Not when he's in almost like competition with him.
Yeah.
And I like Miles Morales, but I don't like him as the other Spider-Man.
Right.
Where now people have to fight about which one's the better. Like, no, quit it. And if he's in 616, again, just give him his own freaking name and let him be his own thing. But yeah, give him his own rogues. That's fine. Whatever. Let's move on. Kamala Khan's Miss Marvel could use some iconic foes. Okay, fair enough. See, they have 4 or 5 ideas here, and they had to populate the rest of this list.
Yeah, basically.
Martian Manhunter could use more supervillains. I don't disagree with that. Heart and soul of the Justice League, but he needs villains of his own. Sure.
Sure.
But see, that's the thing is, this article is so confused that the first half wasn't really about villains that don't have enough rogues. Also, now it's actually about that.
Also, I'm wondering if the last 5 or like the last like 4 or 5 are just like trying to be controversial.
Like, is this about revamping rogues galleries or giving us rogues galleries?
I have no idea.
What is this article? Wait. Daredevil has iconic villains like Kingpin, but he needs to branch out.
Whoa, what?
Why does it look like that?
I can kind of see where we're coming from here, but the issue is Daredevil is fighting not as many. Well, maybe that's not. I was going to say Daredevil is more about fighting mob bosses and things than a lot of other villains or a lot of other heroes at Marvel, where it's more street level. And so he's not always fighting costume villains, but then like you got Bullseye and you got, yeah, I mean he's got costume villains.
Yeah.
And also, there's been a concerted effort in the last decade or more to give Daredevil more costume villains. So like we do new Daredevil villains kind of frequently.
Yeah, I was pretty sure he had a pretty big rogues gallery.
Okay, so this is not the first 5 make sense and then the rest of it is nonsense.
Well, especially with that number 1 pick.
Captain America's Rogues Gallery needs a fresh coat of paint. They need to be updated for the modern age.
Wait, what?
Haven't they been updated for the modern age? Though?
What?
I mean, I haven't
What?
read a lot of recent Captain America.
Much like Mark Grinwald in the 80s and Brubaker in the early 2000s, the shifting political landscape today calls for a redefinition of Captain America's values and what they mean in the present. Villains like Secret Empire is a villain, a super patriot, Serpent Society. Some of these are organizations, but okay. Scourge of the Underworld and the Winter Soldier were all responses to the politics of their time, just as Captain America must be now. Whether through a brand new villain or a fresh take on an old one, the Sentinel of Liberty must always remain a man out of time, yet a man of the moment, which he is. Now again, I don't read a ton of Captain America.
Especially recent Captain America.
But I feel like we do this a lot with his villains, where we bring them into the modern day just like he's a man out of time. Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
And then they find new ways to deal with the politics of our time. Like,
That's
okay,
the whole
so-
point of Captain America.
well, we
Now.
found another really awkward CBR article. This may be even more awkward
No, it's
than
not.
some of the others we've done.
It's definitely not the worst one.
Okay, Teddy, thanks for the super chats.
Yeah,
Everybody
if you
else
missed
that's
that.
left super chats, we will make sure to hit those in the second half. And if anybody wants to respond to the CBR article, to either defend some of that or just throw out your opinions of any of the entries there, I agreed with probably half of them or almost half of them. If the premise is we could use more unique and memorable foes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm hung up on the revamp thing.
Yeah, I don't.
When some of these are, well, we've got a rogues gallery, but we're not utilizing them well enough in the movies. I'm like, is that what we're talking about? Okay, like, did anybody teach you how to, like, write in school? I don't.
Nope.
You know,
Well,
one
'cause they're just
idea should follow the next.
Well, because they're just paid by word, so like they just have to do as many words as they can. It doesn't have to make sense.
Mikey, thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah.
We're going to go ahead and take a 4-minute break, and Jason and I will be right back. We're going to let Mikey go off and play with some of his birthday stuff or whatever he wants to do. Mikey, anything else you want to say before you get going?
Bye.
No, just bye. All right. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys. We'll be back in just a few minutes, and we will tackle. Mike is gone. We will tackle your questions about anything you want us to talk about. And Jason has a segment, and then at the end of the show, we'll show you a clip from the new movie. See you in just a little bit. I don't know why we did that.
Wait,
that feels
we're not
definitive.
leaving.
Like
We're not
leaving.
leaving. We're
We
not
should-
leaving.
Yeah, we really shouldn't do that. And we're back. It's time for part 2 of, or the second half, I should say, of tonight's Captain Logan show. Like I mentioned before the break, if you're just tuning in, right at the end of the show tonight, we're going to show you a new clip from Superhero Rewind the movie, and Jason and I are going to talk a little bit about what it was like putting the film together. You'll get to see that in just a few weeks now. We're almost there, Jason. I'm so excited about it.
Wow.
Before we go to your segment, I'd like to go ahead and hit some of these super chats, if you don't mind,
Yes.
because we have a few. And so we'll do things a little bit out of order. Let's go ahead and do these super chats, and then we'll do your segment and see how much time there is left in the show. But there should still be a little bit of time for you guys to get more questions in if you're so inclined. And as always, again, a super chat guarantees that we talk about your topic. We'll try to do at least one or two non-super chat questions to pre-written things. If you see anything good, Jason, go ahead, man. Throw us the super chats.
All right.
Away we go.
This is a $2 super chat from Channel. He says, Team
Channel.
Gong, and in brackets is Black Widow the start of fatigue.
Do you say Team Gong because Anime Fan was complaining that he doesn't like the sound of the gong?
Maybe.
Is that what he said? Team Gong?
He said Team Gong.
Okay, that must be why. I meant to read that earlier. I don't know if you saw that,
No,
but
I didn't.
Anime Fan was complaining about the sound of the gong.
Oh, well, that's where the sound of the gong comes from.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a new channel called The Sound of the Gong.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what was the question? I'm
Is,
hung up on the gong.
is Black Widow the start of fatigue? The movie?
Oh.
Was that the start of
The start of fatigue. So I'm going to say, first of all, no, because that was during COVID, and a lot of people just didn't even think to bother with that movie. I don't know that Black Widow's the place where people go, God, more of these. I do think one of the reasons people didn't watch that was because they might have already been there. You know,
Sure.
some just like regular movie watchers that aren't connoisseurs of these things like we are. But I think lots of different people would draw the line in different places, right? You had people in even early MCU that were like, I'm sick of 3 of these a year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really depends on who you are. As far as because when the popular idea of superhero fatigue pops up and a lot more people are saying it, I had already been hearing that for years. I was hearing superhero fatigue bandied about. Like, you'll hear me respond to that as a notion 10 years ago, I think. I mean, I think that's happening around Civil War, even. You're hearing that term. Maybe just after. I don't know.
Okay.
But this certainly is not a new thing. Where I start to believe it's a problem is when the quality with MCU is really tanking. You
so,
know?
like Shang-Chi?
Yeah, around there. Like just
The
after No Way Home.
Yeah.
Or not No Way Home, Far From Home. You know, just after that.
Okay, well, that is Black Widow. Is the next movie after that.
Sure, but I don't think that movie itself is exactly heralding.
Sure.
Unless what he's saying is just like, the first Marvel flop. But the problem with that is I don't know what that movie does at the box office if we're not in the middle of COVID.
Right.
So all bets are always off with those. I've gotten this question with a few things where people would be like, what does it mean that this movie failed? Mm-hmm. And it's in the middle of COVID when people were stuck in their houses and when a lot of things were coming out only on streaming or both streaming and in the movie theater. And I go, well, you can't make any assessment based on that.
Yeah.
Like, those numbers don't mean anything.
Yeah.
They go, Matrix 4 flopped. No, tell me what Matrix 5 does when people can go to the movie theater. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. But I think that's all a matter of taste. But I think the place where I buy into it, at least to some degree, that yes, superhero fatigue is a big issue, is when people aren't buying into DC or Marvel at the same time. And it's just a matter of not oversaturating us with the same thing over and over again and with low quality kind of crappy movies. And so you can swing it back around. Now, in all complete honesty, obviously, I love superhero movies. I've talked about them as the thing I do for years and years. Do I think that world would be better? The world of superhero movies, would we get more quality films possibly, and would people be more excited about them if a very specialized EMP hit that only made it impossible to make superhero movies for like 5 years? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I think overall that would probably be really good for the genre. Mm-hmm. But that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't want to see any superhero movies in 5 years. I'm saying that I would rather get one great one a year than a bunch of really terrible ones and then the occasional, decent movie. Mm-hmm. Partly just on a selfish note, because I buy them all. Then I get stuck spending my hard-earned money on horrible things that just sit on a shelf. Okay, go ahead, Jason. What's the next super chat?
$5 super chat from Joel Davis. If Joker appears in the DCU...
If Joker appears in the MCU...
If Joker appears in the DCU, sorry.
That's possible.
How,
someday that will happen.
How do you think he'll be used? Big bad like Lex, or maybe side villain, or a just there villain while someone else is big bad?
Yeah, that's a great question. And what happens when you've got two in different universes with the Batman? Mm-hmm. And how prominent is he going to be in the Batman 2? That's a question, too. Boy, I could see that going in a lot of different ways. I don't know. If I was a betting man, I guess I would say... Because I think there's a bunch of different ways Joker could be utilized. I think first of all, I think whatever Gunn does with the Joker, he's going to be less counterintuitive than introduce him in a Suicide Squad movie. Mm. Like, I'm sure he'll be in a Batman movie first. I'm not even saying that couldn't have worked. It was counterintuitive, and it also happened to be terrible. But I think what is maybe most likely to happen, Jason, is just like with Superman, we've got a very pre-existing universe, but maybe more rogues Superman has dealt with. And honestly, we don't know how much of Superman's rogues gallery he's dealt with. He's been working for 3 years. He could have already fought Metallo. He could have already fought Toyman. Like a lot of those things could be there. We don't know yet.
I want a Toyman movie so bad.
We don't know yet. But we can be sure he hasn't fought anything from Krypton, I think. I think we can be fairly certain of that. But I think Joker is introduced in a movie with other rogues, maybe working with them or against them. But I think it's very likely that you get, like, a Joker and a Riddler and a Two-Face, et cetera, like, all at the same time. And I realize that we kind of did that with the Batman, but they were all, like, splintered in different places doing different things. I think the idea of a, like, 60s Batman-esque cabal of villains, pretty likely.
Yeah.
That'd be my guess if I had to guess anything. Dan, I feel like the Joker is just going to be put on ice for a while now. I think so, too. I don't think he'll be in the first Batman movie in DCU, especially because we've already introduced one for the Batman. Unless they decide to go back on that and scrap Brave and the Bold. I don't think that'll happen. But if they were to decide to go ahead and bring the Batman into the fold of the DCU, then of course you'd have a Joker earlier because we've already introduced them. We talked about this on the spoiler cast the other night. Now that I've seen Superman, I'm more okay with that idea if they decided to do that. I could actually see... I don't know how you feel about it. Were you there when we talked about this?
No.
Or had you left already?
I think I'd left.
What do you think of that idea of Superman and the Batman being in the same universe?
I don't like it.
I think it works now that I've seen that. I could buy it. I don't want that over having a somewhat lighter Batman with a pre-established like Bat Family and Rogues Gallery and all of that, but I think it could work. You don't.
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
Because Superman's just too heightened. That universe is just like, I don't know, there's too many just random huge monsters going around and stuff. I don't think they couldn't exist in the same universe. Could they be in a movie together? Sure. Do a multiversal...
See, I don't think they even need multiverse. I think they totally could be in the same universe. Like, we do this in comics all the time, where the Batman side feels a lot more gritty and realistic, and like in some ways the world we live in, than the Superman side.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know. The Batman just is too realistic, and I also think that you can do a Batman that does fit in that universe better.
Elliot Large just left in a super chat and is actually asking us about this very thing. So let's hit this here. $1.99, or I should say £1.99. You think it's likely Pattinson's Batman joins the DCEU? Or the DCU, pardon me. Again, I still don't think that will happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's likely, and I also don't want it to happen.
I still think Gunn will want to have his own Batman stuff happening in that universe, and have a Batman that's more established than that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's given up on Brave and the Bold yet.
Yeah.
And there's been some speculation that might be his next project, that he might actually be the one directing that, because we know there's a secret Gunn project, like the next thing he's doing. Like, nobody knows what it is yet. And Austin and I have talked about this, and I think that there's a very good chance that's what it is, because he's always wanted to do something with Batman.
Yeah.
And we know that the what's his name, starts with an M, the Flash director was supposed to make that movie, and he's off of it now.
Okay.
And so there's every chance that's what Gunn's doing.
Yeah. Well, and Austin says Batman also takes an explosion to the face and is fine, and flies into a bus with his wingsuit. There's a heightened level to it. Yep. Yes, but it's not a heightened world, if you know what I mean.
Well, how do you know? That stuff's not in Gotham. Why can't it be in a different city?
Sure, but Gotham isn't experiencing the same things that the Superman city is.
I don't know what your point is with that.
Like, there's not.
No one said they had to be taking place at the same time.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
What things?
I'm saying there's no random huge monsters.
Right.
There's no other.
Just because all those things are happening in Metropolis, why can't Gotham look different? I don't understand that. Lex Luthor is behind everything that happens in Metropolis, and there's nothing that's happening in Gotham that would make superheroes that are being funded by Lord Industries go there.
Sure, but I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it being in the same universe.
And I do. I think it works just fine. And I think if you read, and that's fine, but I also think you could be won over on it. I think if they did it, you'd see it.
Sure.
Because you do me a favor.
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Go to your favorite era. I know you're more limited than me on what you've read, but go to your favorite era of DC, be it late 80s, be it mid 2000s, whatever it is. Find a story arc of Superman that is running simultaneous with a story arc of Batman. Read them both and tell me if they look like they take place in the same universe.
Sure.
This is comics.
Right.
Like, this is how we do it.
Right. Well, I do like that, but the thing is, I think they could make it work, but I don't see it.
The only way where I'm not okay with it, because I don't mean to be a hypocrite, there have been, like, I don't really see Superman stuff necessarily in Nolan's world, and I still think even eventually you could maybe get me there, but it's all about the flavor and the attitude of it. Mm-hmm. What about the Batman is saying it's so the world we live in that aliens can't show up or magic can't happen?
But the thing is, I just don't want magic to happen.
Well, what you want and what's possible are different things.
But the thing
that's
is,
cool if you don't want it. That's cool.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that it probably.
I'm not sure I don't either. I'm just saying I think it could work.
They could make it work. They could also mess it up.
Austin says that is Gotham and Metropolis. They should look totally different.
And I agree.
Yeah.
And I think Brave and the Bold Gotham should look different too.
Well, sure.
But the other thing is, I don't really want that Batman having to do anything with magic and aliens. And
sure,
stuff.
And that's fine if that's what you want. I'm just saying I think it could work.
Yeah.
Killer Moth returns. I desperately do not want to live in a post-Dark Knight 08 world again. I need the Batman to be a part of the main DCU. Oh, wow. Okay, let's move on because we're already at an hour and a half, and we've got more segments to do, and we've got super chats. So go ahead and hit the other super chats for me.
Joel Davis again with $5.
Thanks, man.
Do you think people will be taken aback by Supergirl in the DCU due to her characterization from the CW show being quite popular to many first-timers?
Short answer with that is no. I don't know how much even direct comparisons can be made with that, because I feel like the whole world moved on from those shows. Like, yes, you have a generation of kids that grew up with the CW shows, Arrow, Flash, and then eventually Supergirl, etc. And some of them will certainly be making that comparison, but the larger audience, larger society, I don't think that's going to affect box office or even feelings on that movie all that much. And some of it is just simple numbers. Like, the first season of that show did okay, and like with all of those, you got to a point where not even 1 million people were watching it anymore. Now, if those shows, including Supergirl, had been allowed to go a shorter amount of time and maintain the quality they had at the start, whether you think those were good shows or not, I think everyone would agree that even if you didn't like that stuff when it started, it ended much worse than it started. Even if you hated it. If you ever went back and looked at the later stuff, you could see the difference in quality. If those things had been allowed to simply run their course and end when they ought to have ended, there would be more general affection for that stuff, and there would be more comparison, and you'd get maybe a little bit more not like Supergirl or whatever. But I don't really see it with this.
Yeah.
And I also think it'll be very different. It'll just be distinct enough. Because Supergirl was, of course, like it usually is, very Earth-based and dealing with a lot of human characters. And certainly there was space stuff that happened. But that movie is going to be entirely in space nearly. Like, Supergirl's planet hopping, and she's with Lobo. And I mean, it's gonna feel like a completely different thing. So yeah, I don't think that's going to have much bearing on it at all.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah. Okay, moving right
along. We have a $10 super chat from Teddy.
Oh, thanks, Teddy.
Since it's the main super dude right now.
Super dude.
Hot take with Superman. Maybe it's just in the movies, but from what I've seen, it's just Lex Luthor in different sizes.
What does that mean?
I think he means we keep doing Lex Luthor, but he's in different sizes.
Different sizes. Can I see it?
Yeah.
Where is it?
This
Hot take, Superman, maybe it's just in the movies. It's just Lex Luthor in different sizes? I'm sorry, I don't even really understand that comment.
Yeah.
It's just Lex Luthor in different sizes.
Does he mean that it's the same Lex Luthor, but there's a small Lex Luthor and a big Lex Luthor?
Is he saying we can't get away from Gene Hackman? Is that the point? Is that the point he's making? Yeah, that's fair. And there was a lot more, and we talked about this in the spoiler cast. There was a lot more Gene Hackman in both the characterization and just in the trappings of it than I was expecting. But we brought in enough, and that was honestly a real surprise for me. I also think we'll get further away from that as we go with him, because there's no way we're done with Lex.
Right.
I think he'll get maybe a little bit more serious as it goes along. Yeah, I don't want to get back into all that, and I just did that 5 hours and didn't talk spoilers, but not. But I don't agree that it's been exactly the same thing every time. We do get more of the corporate manipulation with him, and the gaslighting and stuff, and the traditional motivation for his hatred of Superman, which we really didn't have on the big screen before, and we didn't get into it the way that movie does. But I hear you, it's more than I expected.
Yeah, and he says some big, some small, all Lex.
Well, that's true. That's true. That's true. And maybe he's also just complaining we do Lex too much. I don't know. All right. What else?
And he also puts in another $10.
And by the way, I'm not in the camp that, oh God, we've done Lex too much, we shouldn't have done him this time, because it just is Superman's arch nemesis. It's like my favorite Superman villain and one of my favorite villains. So I'm not going to complain that we keep going back to Lex. And I never felt like I got the Lex I wanted.
Yeah.
And now I more or less have. You know, but like he should always be a part of Superman's ongoing status quo. Like, you want him around even if he's not the main villain. You know, I don't mean to say that he has to be in every Superman movie necessarily, but he is kind of like Magneto. He's always gonna be lurking. He's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
He's how you see where the edge is with Superman. He's that contrast, and you need him more ever present than the Joker with Batman.
Yeah.
Okay. We got lots of super chats. Appreciate you guys. Keep going.
And he also puts in another $10 super chat. And he says, actually, let me be fair, it's Lex Luthor in different sizes and Zod in different eyeliner.
Okay. Sure. These are characters we use a lot.
Dude, I can't. My thing is glitching out. I can't.
What's glitching out?
My laptop.
Okay, Teddy put in yet another $4.99 super chat and says, I confused myself after you read it. I mean, the movies always use Lex, just with different actors. I just wanted to be a cutie pie. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Yes, they do. It's true. They do keep using the same character with different actors. But, I mean, Lex is as important to the status quo in the story of Superman as Lois Lane is. That's the thing is, like, can you do a Superman movie that starts before Lex? Sure. Did I go to Man of Steel and I was upset that Lex wasn't there yet? No. It was also very pre the regular status quo, where, like, you could get there, and they sort of do. Sort of.
Yeah.
But, so you can do an origin without Lex.
I agree.
You know, or you could have... But I don't know, I think at the point where, like, Clark Kent comes to Metropolis and he's being a Superman, Lex owns half the city. Like, he's there. You know? You could have a Lex that doesn't have the full-blown villain plot yet, and that's just in the background fuming, because he hates Superman, or that is kind of taking it in and trying to size up Superman and sees how altruistic he is and how powerful he is and how people are accepting him, and you see him just slowly getting outraged by the fact that people are embracing what feels to him like essentially a cheater, you know, who is to him only cool to people because he has all these powers and he didn't have to do anything to get to build what he's built. That's part of why Lex hates Superman. So yeah, you could do all of that without him being the villain, but he's got to be there.
Yeah.
All
right. We have the last super chat for right now. We have a $5 super chat from Killer Moth Returns, and he's talking about the Rogues Gallery thing here. What a bust. All they had to say was any Rogues Gallery would be infinitely elevated by the fabulous and legendary Killer Moth.
That's really funny. Hey, real quick, name a superhero or two that would have been more legitimate to put on that list.
People were talking about the Hulk earlier.
Sure.
And I think I agree with that.
Yeah, you know what I like about the Hulk, though? I like that the Hulk is, in his way, sometimes a villain for other heroes in the MCU, or in Marvel, where for certain stories, they are his antagonist, but if it was their comic, he would be their antagonist.
Yeah.
And that's why the 90s Hulk show was cool, because there were lots of guest characters in that, where it's like, this week Hulk's gonna fight Ghost Rider, and this week he's
awesome.
gonna fight whoever, and yeah, that was that show.
What? Ghost Rider's in that?
Ghost Rider's in that, yeah.
That's awesome. I will say, I do need a bit of a distinction between the Batman Rogues Gallery and the Green Arrow Rogues Gallery.
Well, especially after the Arrow TV show where we just commandeered Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. But
you're right, it's like, is Clock King a Green Arrow villain, or is he a Batman villain? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
One writer, Wonder Woman was on that list.
Yeah. For some reason. I think
I
Wonder
can
Woman has...
sort of see it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other super chats?
Not now.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and go on to thank you guys very much for the support and for the fun Q&A. Actually, real quick, do you see any good pre-written questions so we don't shaft folks that just left questions? Or have there really been any?
Not really. The one that I had written down, we literally just talked about for 10 minutes.
Okay, all right. Well, let's move on from that. You want to cite who it was?
It was Dan's Den, and he was talking about being two separate Batmans.
And we kind of did that.
We kind of did
Okay,
that.
thanks, Dan.
He was talking about more, would audiences buy their, like, would audiences be fine with two different
I guess we didn't really get into that, but let's table that for another time.
Yeah,
because I think that would maybe be a good question to explore. Can you copy that somewhere? Maybe we'll even do a lead-in topic with that, because that is an interesting debate. Because I think they absolutely will, but some people aren't with me on that.
Okay.
So anyway, why don't you go ahead and do your segment? How long do you need? Because we got about 20 minutes left in the show.
Like 10.
Okay. Go ahead and do that, and then we'll talk about the movie for a little bit at the end.
Okay. Cool. So my segment, this time I decided to do another...
Real quick, Teddy put in another super chat.
Yeah.
Let me hit that real quick, 499. They really did kidnap Ra's al Ghul from Batman and drop him at Arrow's doorway. Well, not only that, but they stole him right out of Nolan, where they went. I mean, he's more comic booky, and he's played by Alexander Siddig. Did you know that?
Yeah. Do they call him Ra's al Ghul in there?
They do.
Okay.
They do. They introduce his other daughter first, and they just don't even do Talia. Or maybe later they do her. I can't remember. But they have his other daughter.
Interesting.
But yeah, they do that just because that wants to be a Batman show, and it's ripping stuff out of Nolan. And then all of a sudden, and then there is... And actually, I think he's even name-dropped in the first season. So like, we always knew he was coming. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
All right. And Teddy says enough super chats.
I appreciate you, Teddy. Thanks a lot, buddy.
All right. My segment this...
I'm long-winded, and now we're rushing. So anyway, go ahead.
My segment this week is going to be another music segment.
Hurry up.
I like
we have
those.
things to do.
I like those. I like music segments.
I know you like music segments.
Yeah. And because you never talk about music. So...
only occasionally.
So this is 4 musical albums I recommend to you that you, if you haven't listened to it, you should listen to them.
Oh, great.
For some reason, I did 4 and not 3 or 5. I thought maybe 5 was too much.
Well, that's what CBR should do when they don't have enough things for 10.
Yeah, just 4. Because, I mean, they basically just had 4 good ones.
Go ahead.
So, my first album is the 1986 album Skylarking by XTC. XTC is a 70s and 80s band. They go into like the mid 90s. I'm pretty sure. They're mainly a 70s and 80s rock band that has some quirky / weird elements. They're very much in the realm of like TMBG and other things like that. But Skylarking was one of the first XTC albums I actually connected with. I'm currently going through their discography after liking that album. Yeah, it's got some really good, I don't know, it's one of those albums that I think would be really fun to just watch someone perform, like, live, just the entire album, in one sitting. I think that would be really cool. It has a really good, it has some really good, like, string work, and it sounds just like an orchestra is being played in front of you, and I really like that. The one thing that originally turned me off from the band was just it's a little hard. It was a little hard for me to get used to that guy's voice because he's very much like, and I'm like, oh, okay. But
yeah, despite
he
the
grew on
song,
me.
I've never heard any of them.
Yeah, but he grew on me, yeah, I think if you like 80s pop and 80s rock, I think you should at least try it out. My second album that I recommend is kind of in the same boat. This is the 1997 album The Mollusk by Ween. Oh, and I should say with Skylarking, it has a song about Supergirl, so that ties it into.
Oh, cool. Is it good?
Yeah, it's great. It's like the one from that album that I get stuck in my head. So the Ween album, The Mollusk, is a kind of a concept album. Not really a rock opera thing, but everything follows a certain theme, and that theme is the sea. So whether that's like sea shanties or it just kind of sounds kind of like the sea, it just kind of does everything. And that's just that band. That band does not have a sound. Every song is completely different, and usually I would hate that, but for some reason this album works. I think it's just a really good like collection of like genres of music.
But I think it works like a compilation almost.
Kind of, yeah. There are a couple tracks that I really liked from this. That it's another very weird kind of band, and this was actually a band that was also on the Elektra label as well as TMBG around the same time as TMBG. Although I'm pretty sure they were there longer, and I'm pretty sure they also had a massive falling out.
Oh, that's always sad.
But yeah, there are a couple tracks from the album that I don't like.
Yeah, because they did TMBG kind of dirty.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they also did Ween kind of dirty. But it's one of those rare albums that the second half is better than the first half.
That is unusual.
But yeah, and then so if you like,
sorry, I just realized this entire show I've had my mic settings wrong. So sorry.
Is that what it? Oh,
sorry if we've been too quiet this whole show. Awesome testing. Okay,
Testing.
I think we're all right. Anyway, go ahead.
So yeah, if you like 90s rock, some of these tracks you'll like. If you like the Beatles, some of these tracks you'll like. If you like kind of psychedelic stuff, maybe a couple of these tracks you might like. If you like sea shanties, a couple of these tracks you might like. So, I think at least one of these tracks you'll like, or maybe even love. But I have been playing both of the two albums that I just mentioned on repeat for the past few weeks.
You're making me want to bring recommends back as a show. You're
Yeah.
quite good at this. And then a fly went in his mouth.
It did.
Did you guys see that? It was legendary.
The next
The
band.
Killer Moth returned.
No, not the Killer Moth. The next album I'm going to recommend to you is another band that changes their sound a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't really. Okay, they have a sound, but they can't keep their genre of music. Like anything they do, it still sounds like them, but they just can't keep in a specific genre of music. And that is, of course, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I've heard one of their albums. That stuff gets stuck in my head. Like it's good, but I get really sick of it.
So my recommendation for this is the 2019 album Infest, The Rat's Nest, and
There is not a more prolific band than that band.
Yes. They started in 2011 and they've made like 30 albums. So this album is very interesting because this is like a heavy metal album. It's not heavy metal, but it's like thrash metal. It's really interesting. It's awesome. It's another concept album. And it's one of those that actually sounds like a rock opera as well as just a metal album for some reason. It's only like 35 minutes long, but it's got some great tracks. I don't know. I really liked it. And I have talked about this band a couple times on this channel. I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
But this is probably my favorite album from them. So if you like metal, if you like psychedelic stuff, check this out because it's a really good blend of those things. And it's all about space.
Cool.
It's another concept album about space. And then my last album is and I'm now realizing that all of these 4 albums are from each of different decades starting from the 80s going to the 2010s. So that's interesting.
Yeah,
So my
cool.
2000s album is the 2007 album The World Ruler by Nightmare.
You're just like the new Godzilla Marvel comics.
I guess, yeah.
Where each one's a different decade.
Yeah. So yeah, this
What's it called again?
this is The World Ruler by Nightmare.
Never heard of that.
This is I think you would love this album because you know one of the tracks from it.
Okay.
Nightmare is a Japanese rock band who you might know. They're pretty big in the Visual K scene, but you might know them by doing the first intro song to Death Note.
Death Note. Okay.
So
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
That's on this album.
It's actually on the album.
Yeah, it's a terrible version of the song, but
Oh.
the rest of the tracks are great.
Weird.
Yeah, this guy's voice is really cool. I think he has a great voice. And I don't know, it's like the last album that I talked about, that King Gizzard album, is 35 minutes. This album is 55 minutes. It's very long, but it's great. And they just put out a new EP like 4 days ago, that is great, that you need to check out as well. Where basically they have 5 members, and they had each of their members write a song.
Oh wow.
And it's great.
That's a neat idea.
And they haven't changed their sound. It still sounds.
So they all know how to write that band.
Yeah. So yeah, if you like rock, if you like 2000s rock, and if you're okay with having it be Japanese, and if you just like Japanese stuff,
Yeah.
check that out because it's great.
I don't know where you find some of this stuff.
But yeah.
Well, thanks for those recommendations, Jason.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to check out all of those things,
Yeah.
especially that last one.
Yeah. I think you'd like it.
Are you hearing the rolling thunder?
I'm also I am.
There's so much of I don't know if that's picking up the mic, but oh lord, maybe now with the settings right.
I don't think that's thunder. I think that's just stuff upstairs.
Oh, I thought it was thunder.
Yeah, no, I think people are just like
Great
throwing
deal of
themselves
fun.
onto
Oh.
the floor
Oh,
or something upstairs.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
Jumping
upstairs
off
and
of
expect a bunch
couches.
of rain, and there's no rain. Okay, now it's time for our last segment. We're going to show you guys that are still with us a clip from the new movie. You'll get to see it before anybody else. I'll probably upload it tomorrow. And Jason, why don't you set this up for us real quick? Just just a little bit. So Superhero Rewind, the movie.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a time travel thing. I'm playing myself in multiple time periods.
Yeah.
And as you know now, if you've seen the trailer, Doomsvince is involved.
Yes. Yeah, Doomsday is involved some way, some fashion. So, man, how do I even set this scene up? Okay, so we know about the time machine, and they've just tried to use the time machine, but it didn't work. So they go downstairs and talk to Doomsday.
And what is my mission? What am I trying to
You're trying to go
accomplish?
back in time and stop yourself from making the YouTube channel because movies suck. Superhero movies suck now.
And I feel like I've wasted my life on them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I want to set myself on a better path.
So Brandon gives you a time machine, and it's
and it's not working.
right. And it's not working, and you talk to Doomsday.
Okay, let's watch the scene. This is a 3-minute. This is not the whole scene, but this is the 3 minutes of a scene. And here we go. Sorry, that didn't work. Hold on.
You almost had it.
I assume you know why the time machine didn't work.
Well, of course I do. I built it.
But I designed it.
And I built it. Did you really think I'd let you change the timeline unless I wanted it to happen? What have you stopped yourself from cloning Vince and creating me?
So you're telling me you had potential access to a working time machine this entire time, and you never went back to ruin my career?
What are you talking about? Spawn here worked perfectly. Look at you now! I'd never do what you're about to attempt. You're way more far gone than I have ever been. You want to manipulate the laws of nature. I just wanted to get revenge on my creator for trying to make me into something I wasn't. In the grand scheme, that makes me look mildly vindictive. And you, a bona fide supervillain. Congratulations! And now you're about to create yet another hell of your own making. Exciting.
I thought you guys bonded over making Spawn Year into a web series.
We sort of did. Hence the reason I never turned Geekvolution into a cooking channel. And why I'm a head in a jar and not buried in my own grave, filled with Spawn paraphernalia.
Which would be way too poetic not to do when and if you finally do kick the bucket.
Agreed.
Then why are you still reveling in Cap's misfortune?
Old habits die hard. It was kind of Cap to keep me alive, but we've never really gotten along. That's why I'm hidden behind gaudy game cabinets. We just understand each other. If he was a floating, disembodied head, I'd have him living behind barrels of finely aged wine.
I would expect nothing less.
Bygones have been bygones for decades now, and yet I'll never say no to an opportunity pressing up against the glass and staring me in the face. If Captain Logan is finally going to seal his own fate, either by saving or destroying his future, I insist on being in the front row with a bag of popcorn.
You can't eat popcorn.
It is a rhetorical bag of popcorn.
Okay, so there is another clip from the movie, and like I said, it comes out in just a few weeks. I'm so excited to show it to you guys. It is pretty much done. We're still working on some audio stuff, and I'm working on some behind-the-scenes things right now, doing a bunch of blooper things, and I'm working on a full-on blooper cut right now, which is going to be a lot of fun. Dan's Den, not sure how I feel about the cinematography. I guess it fits given the relative cheapness of it all. Yeah, I mean...
You can just blame that on me, to be fair.
We are absolutely amateur filmmakers. Some of that, I'll say, is not to be self-deprecating or anything. I mean, some of it is flying by the seat of our pants and being somewhat inexperienced. And some of it is definitely intentional. Yeah. There are story reasons for cheapness. I mean, there are, just like with Spawn Year. But also, we did a lot of it handheld to create the sense of instability in the protagonist. And even I'm not sure just how well that's working, but that was the idea.
There's a lot of instability in that protagonist, I'm telling you.
Yeah, Killmoth returns our whole H moment. Yeah, exactly. You guys get to see it early. But yeah, we're gonna need to get going here pretty soon, especially because we've got crazy weather all of a sudden, and the lights have already flickered.
I was wrong. It was weather.
Yes.
It was thunder.
It's been thundering the whole time, and with like no breaks.
Yeah.
It's been actually kind of scary sounding. But yeah, the lights flickered for a second. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna lose power. Real quick though, we got about 5 minutes. Yeah. Do you want to talk just real briefly about what it was like putting this thing together?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, it was really fun, reading that script for the first time because, obviously, we had. And we went back and looked at our original notes, and our original, Dad and I broke the story, and our original idea for the movie was very different than what it became, and that really was just Dad decided, he decided to go ahead and write it, and as he was writing, he just found himself in kind of a different place, and I actually really like how it turned out, and so kind of. Even though it's a very small budget movie, like a very very small budget movie, and a lot of favors and stuff, but seeing it kind of come to life even on a small budget like that was great. And I think everyone did a great job acting wise. And I don't know. I think it'll be. I think people like it.
It is. We got really lucky in lots of ways with folks that were willing to work with us, pro bono, and in locations we managed to find, and people that were willing to work with us with that for on location things. Wendell Jones doing the score. It's a brilliant score. There's like 101 references to superhero soundtracks and other media that you'll recognize as you listen to it. And I mean, we can't overemphasize it's a real little fun indie movie made by people that have no idea what the hell they're doing. I'm really happy with how it's turning out. It's one of those things that's like made for us, and we hope other people are enjoying it too. Like it is by its nature somewhat self-indulgent. Like there's just no way around that in exactly the way Spawn Year was. And so I don't know, if you enjoyed Spawn Year, hopefully you'll enjoy this. And if you didn't like that, I don't know how you'll feel about this, because it's made in a lot of the same vein with a lot of the same sorts of sensibilities. I had so much fun doing that. I really wanted to do something in that vein again. And of course, it is different. It is about some different things, and it's not about Spawn. It's about superhero stuff, although Spawn is in there.
Yeah. Spawn is a superhero.
And yeah, so exactly. Dan said I might actually write a review of this movie and grade it on its own terms, but I'm only thinking about that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and God, the weather is crazy.
We won't be mad if you don't like it.
Yeah. No, of course, absolutely. Yeah. It's definitely oddly long. But hopefully people aren't gonna mind that too much. It's a thing we made, again, absolutely for ourselves and for our viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah, we made it over a year, shooting mostly on Tuesday evenings, and having Brandon and my friend Chris over, who served as my assistant director, and it was really just the four of us most of the time.
Yeah.
Shooting this movie.
And
then we had a couple of location shoots where we had more people, but mostly just other actors that we needed for scenes.
I will say
we had no other crew.
Yeah, pretty much. I will say this movie is not as long as the Superman spoiler cast.
Well, that's true.
all I'll say.
That's true. It is not as long as that. Okay, we're at 2 hours. We'll talk some more about this down the road, and we have. We shot a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff as we went, so we'll have lots of special features for you after the movie comes out. We shot some podcast link things as we went along. We might be uploading those in their entirety, so you can just listen to conversations we had as we made the thing. And anyway, in the meantime, we appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. Thanks for Super Chatters tonight. You guys were great. Thanks for the support. And thanks, everybody, just for hanging out with us. We will see you again next week. Austin and I are going to broadcast without Jason next week because he's actually going to play right now, and he's got a performance next Wednesday. So Austin and I are... This could change, but right now we're talking about doing that Transformers trailer reaction without Jason, because originally Jason was supposed to be on that, but he's not seen those movies, and he didn't really want it to be on that stream. So we figured, since he's going to be out, and Austin really wanted to do that stream with me, and I don't know much about those movies either, but I'll have Austin there, and it'll be fun just to react to them. There was a top super chatter that requested that, so we do need to do that. Hopefully he doesn't mind that we're not going to have Jason on that.
Yeah.
But I figured we needed something for next week, since we won't be able to have a regular Captain Logan show.
Will you do another rant
or
about
I would have
Bumblebee?
Somebody else in for the Captain Logan show, but I think we're going to do this instead. It could happen. Or I might just be like, it's been so long, I don't have feelings about this anymore.
Sure. But
we'll see you again real soon. I was Captain Logan, and this was
Jason.
Jason. Later, folks. Goodbye, everybody.
I wanna take you for a ride.